All right, now just like any good organization or any good plan, there has to be someone who's in charge. And that's going to be our nucleus. And just to make sure that Mr. Nucleus is in charge, I'm going to give him a little mustache. Okay, my nucleus. My Mr. Know-it-all. All right? So my nucleus, as you can guess, his function is to be in control of everything. He controls all cell activities. Okay? The nucleus controls all cell activities. But not all cells have a nucleus. Only eukaryotic cells have a nucleus. That includes plant and animal cells. Next we have our ribosome. Now a ribosome is what you can call almost like an assembly line. They kind of work like a factory in that they make things. So the function is protein synthesis. Or they make proteins for the cell. Now, since all cells and all living things need proteins and are made up of proteins, it's a fair assumption to say that all cells, eukaryotic and prokaryotic, have ribosomes. When you look at a picture of a cell, they're kind of speckled or confettied all over it. They're not just in one spot. Now we're on to mitochondria, or our mighty mitochondria. I know that we've already talked about this with cellularization, but this is our powerhouse. Our powerhouse, or factory. And the function is to provide energy for our cells. Okay? It's the site of cellular respiration. It helps us make our ATP. And ATP equals energy, right? So our mitochondria, since it's a membrane-bound organelle, it is only going to be found in our eukaryotic cells. Okay? It's going to be found in plants and animals. Now our chloroplasts are attributed to being green. And that is due to chlorophyll. But our chloroplasts are kind of like solar panels. What they do is that they capture the sun's energy and they make food from it. Some of you may remember that this is the site of photosynthesis. Now, since it is a membrane-bound organelle, only eukaryotic cells have chloroplast. But it can be found in plant cells and protists. Next, we have our vacuole. Now, our vacuole is kind of cool because it almost acts like a water tower. And it holds, or its function, is that it holds water for our cells. Now, you're only going to find this in our eukaryotic cells. But you will find this in plant and animals. But in plant cells, they're very large. And in animal cells, they're kind of small or medium shaped. Now we've got one of my favorites, the plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane's kind of like a super beefed up bodyguard or security guard at, a nice venue. They're our bodyguards. Okay? Their function is to separate the cell from the outside environment. But what it also does is it only lets certain things through. Okay? It's semi-permeable, meaning that it's let some things through, but not others. Now, all cells want a bodyguard. They want a gatekeeper. They're not just going to let anything come into their cells and ruin them. So all cells have a cell membrane. Very, very important. So now we have our cell wall. Our cell wall is almost like a fort or a brick wall. It's on the outside of certain cells, and its function is that it gives the cell extra strength. And stability. You can find this in prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. But usually, they're only found in plant cells. As opposed to being in our cells. Lastly, we have cytoplasm. It's kind of the negative space in between all of our organelles, but it is extremely important. It's kind of this like jelly-like substance. It's kind of like Jello, but the thing is that its function is very important. It holds all of our organelles in place. And you can find this in all cells. It's found in prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. It's kind of like edge control, right? It holds everything in place and it's kind of jelly and goopy.